Hello, beautiful souls. My name is London from thislondonbridges, and I am so happy to be doing this reading today. Today's reading is pulling in messages to support what we're starting, messages for getting started. So if you have an idea in your heart or your brain and you're hoping to take an action, I've got some messages here for you today to support that. What we're gonna do is intuitively pick pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3. In fact, you could pick more than one pile or every pile if you want. There are many ways to choose. You will not choose the wrong pile. You can look at the timestamps below. Close your eyes, open your eyes, see what your eyes are drawn to. Just trust that inner knowing. And a quick reminder that this is a general reading, so it's energy for the collective. With any tarot reading, take what resonates and leave the rest. This is not predicting the future, but rather reading energies that are happening right now. You will always have free will, and you can do and create what you'd like. So, thank you for that. When you're ready, go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Choose your pile. You can see the timestamps in the comments and the pinned and the description below. And we'll get started. See you in a moment. Hello, pile number 1. We have messages today for you for getting started. So for that project you've had on your brain and your heart, messages to support your journey of getting started. The first card that we have is an embodiment card. See if you can go ahead and do this along. It'll feel so much better. So allow yourself to lie down if it's accessible. Right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart. I'm gonna go ahead and set the card down so that I can do this along with you. This is how I serve with tenderness. Let's take a moment to do that. Feels so good. Okay, so for me, this is a reminder that our answers are in our body so much of the time, and that we can calm ourselves if we're feeling nervous about getting started. Might be one of the reasons that you came to this reading. We can come home to ourselves and our breath and our body. Calming our nervous system will help us feel that clarity for our next steps. And also it references serving, right? So your idea probably has to do with the external world, something that you want to put out into the world, something that you want to create, not only for yourself, but also for others. And this is a reminder for me that's saying to be able to give, to serve with tenderness, you have to meet yourself first. So if you're feeling stuck with getting started, coming back home to your breath and your body, seeing if you can find some clarity there. It's simple, not always easy. All right, then we have this goddess card. I'm just gonna speak to some of the key words. So this is bast. I'm not gonna read the card. I would rather just be able to have us look at it and really appreciate the imagery. You can gaze onto it and see what you intuitively see. Some of the key words for this card, so she's an Egyptian goddess, Bast, and she's in cat form. So she embodies a lot of playful and relaxed energy. She's very instinctual and intuitive, wild, independent, joyful, a giver of life, has a lot of abundance, earth, solar, and lunar energy. So in terms of getting started, if you have an animal around you, like a cat, watch them. Watch how they live their lives. They are, at least from my perception, they're not stressing. They're eating when they're hungry, they're playing when they're playful, they're hunting when they see something that intrigues their curiosity. they're resting, right? So go with your natural flows. This is connected. As you're creating, as you're getting started with your ideas, it's not all just about pushing. It is also about being. And I know that this advice or this guidance, these cards might sound slightly frustrating right now. Sometimes when I call my mom for advice, I'm freaking out. And she always tells me to take deep breaths, and it's so annoying and it's so useful. Sometimes it's these simple things that we forget about coming home to ourselves so that we can serve others. So we've got the energy of Bast supporting what you are creating. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and move these because I'd like to make space for our tarot here. We'll see where this ends up being. Let's start with that. All right, so for our tarot cards, we're starting off with the Ace of Swords. So messages for getting started. Then we have the Four of Staves, also known as the Four of Wands, and the Page of Swords. Wonderful. So swords is an air energy. It rules the mind. You have the idea. With between the Ace and the Page of Swords, the idea is there. You don't have to worry about that. The idea, the message, the thing that you want to get started, your idea is here. So the Ace of Swords is a beginning. It's a new idea. It often indicates breakthroughs and mental clarity. It's often represented as this just like hand through the clouds or through the ether, this idea given upon you. It's a royal idea. It's going to be widely supported. We've got the stability of the mountains in the back. So for getting started, this is just a reminder that you have the idea. You can cut through it with this mental clarity. Something is calling you. And we'll reference the Page of Swords, because that's the similar, it's different energy, but it's the same suit, and it is similar energy. There's a lot of curiosity in the Page of Swords. You can see in this image, there is the page noticing and admiring the butterfly. So that might be a message too for you with getting started. Honor those small things. Because for example, if you're starting a business, it's not about making $1 million tomorrow. It's about one little step at a time. You have the idea, follow it. What is calling you? Notice it. Come home to your body, right? Be like a cat. Rest when you need to rest, work when you need to work, notice and follow these hits of inspiration. They might seem small, they are huge. The Page of Swords also has to do with new ways of communicating. So if this is about getting started, maybe you have to have a conversation with somebody, a boss, a coworker, a friend. Maybe it's getting started in a relationship. Maybe you have to be the brave, I'm not getting that sense so much though, but the brave one that has that beginning conversation. Hey, this is how I feel about you. In terms of business, with new ways of communicating, it might mean moving towards trying something you haven't done before. Opening a TikTok, starting a Facebook. I am getting that online energy, but that might or may not apply. Again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Always, always, always. For the Four of Staves or the Four of Wands, this is a fire energy. Fire has a lot of spark, enthusiasm, and passion, which will be supporting your mental clarity, which is good. And you can see too in the blue of this, it's a little bit more cold if you just get stuck in the mental. So bringing in that heart, that passion, that fire is huge. And this indicates celebration, harmony. We've got a castle that we're this home and community that is supporting us, the wildflowers, all these little beauties and synchronicities that help us know that we're on our right path. It does look like a union here. That may or may not mean a romantic one. This could be a business union. This could be a union of your ideas and your action, taking inspired action. Celebrating. Your idea is worth celebrating, and your idea is worth taking action on. So the messages today to support you are just reminding you of what you already know, which is you have an idea. Excuse me. This is my cat, Oni. She's not allowed up here. Baby girl, please come down. Thank you. All right, sorry about that. So, completely lost my train of thought with her cuteness, but thank you. We do have that cat energy. So she does what she wants to. That's another thing, right? With the cat energy and owning that vast goddess energy. She does what she wants. If you have an idea, it's not about what those other people think. If you want to climb up on the tarot table, but you're not allowed, you're going to do it anyways. You're going to find a path, right? We've got one more message for you today in the cards. This is an affirmation for getting started. I let go of things that are no longer useful. Baby girl, please stop. Thank you. Okay. Well, she is pulling the whole cards down. So that, I think, is probably going to be the end of our reading, and I'll work on my boundaries with my tarot space. Oh my goodness. I'm tempted to refilm, but this is real life. So we're just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. We'll see what happens here. So we've got the cat energy supporting your getting started. So again, dear hearts, you have the idea. Follow your curiosity and your communication. Rest when you need to rest, play when you need to play, take up space. Be authentic in your needs. Eat when you're hungry. Hunt when you have an idea. Come home to yourself through breath and tenderness. That way you'll be able to serve so much better. Remember, dear hearts, that this idea is worth celebrating. The universe is so here for it. And letting go of the things that are no longer useful. Like self-judgment, for example, when your cat makes a mess of your cards. Thank you so much for showing up today, tuning in. I deeply appreciate it. I'll connect with you soon. I'm sending you all of my love. I believe in you, and I cannot wait for you to get started on this project. Leave a comment below if you'd like about your journey. All right, sending you all my love. Hello, pile number 2. We're gonna dive into your reading and get messages to support starting. Messages for getting started. Our first card, holding the most pressing current reality in your heart. So probably to do with this thing that we want to get started, right? How can you shift your vantage point in this moment? In this moment, how can I shift my vantage point about what I want to get started? This is how my simplest shift in perception grants profound healing. So right off the bat, that tells me that there is something that is holding us back emotionally from getting started. You can see the blue often is associated with the cups energy. So we have something we want to get started. This card is reminding us that a shift in perception will help us get there. That a shift in perception will help us heal, which will help us get there. So there might be some internal work involved, dear hearts. There always is. Okay. So we have this thing that we want to get started. Let's see. Next, we have a goddess card. I'm gonna mention some of the keywords from the back. I'm not gonna pretend that I know how to pronounce her name. I will get there. If you know, and leave a comment below. So some of the keywords for this goddess. She's got carnal love and desire. She's often known as the eater of impurities. She accepts us however we are, all of the darkness within, and can help heal and transmute it with shifts of perception. She has a lot of self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others. She references the part of ourselves that we fear because it's so powerful and unfamiliar. So sometimes our power is something that we're afraid of. This also ties into the healing and perception. There's something that you want to do, and if we can just like twist that knob of perception, forgive ourselves possibly for not being there already, for our timelines, for the way that our thoughts haven't served us in the past. Forgiving ourselves, shifting in perception, we're already enough. Letting in, allowing the healing that is ready to pour out into us. So I'm getting really strong messages of self-forgiveness to help with moving forward and getting started with whatever it is that your heart is desiring. Okay, let's see what the tarot has for us. For our first card, we have the 10 of Swords. Right, this is confirming what I was feeling. There is some emotional pain here that needs to be transmuted. And I know that might feel discouraging. It doesn't have to be a long process. It's about that shift in perception. This card here, I just want to come back to it real quick. Simplest shift in perception. Coming home to ourselves with deep breaths and shifts in perception can do this profound healing. Forgiving ourselves for whatever it is. Maybe forgiving ourselves for how long it's taken us to heal. Forgiving ourselves for how long we've held on to this pain or these thought patterns that are not serving us, the doubt, the limitations, right? It might also have to do with forgiveness of others, but I'm getting this sense that it has to do with this. Then with the 10 of Swords, though, it often has to do with betrayal, pain, loss, a painful ending, which doesn't sound fun, and it often isn't in the moment, but that ending, a reminder, is so that better things are coming. And oftentimes situations that weren't serving us don't end in a beautiful, cheery way, right? It wasn't good in the beginning. Who are we to think that it's gonna end beautifully, right? Sometimes the relationships that we're too scared to get out of, either romantic, friendship, familial, or with work, they end painfully to help us get out. It might not be a huge blow up or anything either. And this 10 of Swords might not be something on the material plane. So it could be the ending of a job or relationship, pain, loss. It could also reference the way that you're feeling internally, right? Right now we are in this 10 of Swords energy. We're feeling closed in ourselves. We're feeling pain, stabbed in the back, either through ourselves or others. And that with the shift of perception, we can remove these swords. We can forgive ourselves. We can transmute this pain. She's got a lot of darkness around her, and she has a lot of light and an open heart. I'm also a dancer and movement teacher, and watching the spines of these two cards, and take this or not, if you'd like, right? Just take what resonates and leave the rest. The 10 of Swords, this painful place, is more curled up in itself, more contracted. There's times that feels really good and we need to be in contraction, like child's pose and taking a breath. But this forgiveness space is more standing upright, open-hearted, open chest. So maybe with where you are, the simple shift in perception, take some moments to open and close through your heart space, rounding your spine and opening your spine, arching and contracting. You can do this in a table position like a cat and cow. You can do this intuitively, letting yourself have internal focus, feeling the pain, transmuting it towards your power again. And that's just a thought that comes to mind, a little spine dance to see if you can get some of that energy shifting from the pain that you've been sensing, right? Because you've got something in your heart that you want to get started. Our next tarot card is the Two of Staves, also known as the Two of Wands. The Wands is a fire sign, right? So I forgot to mention that the Swords is ruled by air and mental. So a lot of this pain, again, is in our own minds, which does not mean it is not true, but that's where we're carrying it. The Two of Staves, the Two of Wands, the Two of Fire has a lot of passionate energy. So the passion is coming in. This is your new idea, right? This is what you want to get started. You're seeing yourself on the horizon. You're making plans. You're progressing, discovering. You're leaving your comfort zone. And for many of us, as much as it's uncomfortable, this has been our comfort zone for way too long. A lot of times the healers of the world get stuck in this cycle of pain first, right? So what you might be wanting to bring maybe involves healing others. And this is a reminder that we're going to do the healing work for ourselves first. We don't have to be finished healing to help others. We can continue to do that work, but we're going to put on our own life jacket before we assist others, right? Tending to yourself, watering yourself. So coming into this energy of possibilities, again, you can see that spine is tall and aligned. I do encourage this group to play with a bit of spine dance and see what happens with the breath and the spine moving. I know that sounds odd if you're not used to embodied practice, but oh my goodness, it can do amazing work. You're looking out into the horizon, this beautiful sky. There's endless possibilities. There does seem to be a blockade in front of where she wants to go. Here's the deal though. That might have to do with our mental, our ideas, the way we're speaking to ourselves, the pain we're carrying around. It's not hard to get over. Her dress is flowy. She's got enough space. She's not confined. She can easily get over this barrier. All she has to do is decide. So you know where you're going. Lean into that Two of Staves, lean into the shift in perception, and transmute. Forgive yourself to transmute. For our last tarot card, ooh, this feels nice. We have the Nine of Pentacles. So through this transformation, calling in what we want to starting, letting ourselves start, we are bringing in so much fruitful abundance. Support of the earth, support in the earthly realms. We'll have financial security. This idea is worth following. It's worth following with love and kindness to ourselves. We've got a lot of wisdom, intuition always on our shoulders. This inner knowing. This one's interesting because her eyes are down, but her spine is still tall. So she's in an introspective place. She's very much within herself in this image, in this deck. But she's still stacked in her energy centers. Wow, okay, this is awesome and powerful. And I know that I spoke more about the Ten of Swords because that seems to be where the energy is feeling right now. But whew, we can shift it. We can shift it, move our spine, dance around, breathe. Oh, I just saw 1111 on my recorder. I love that. Forgive ourselves with breath. Trust that what we see, what we want to create, what we want to start is worth following. Stand tall in our spines. Trust our inner guidance and wisdom, the owl in our shoulder. And know that we're going to be surrounded by so much beauty and fruitfulness from letting ourselves forgive and shift. Oh my gosh, okay, I love this. I just looked at our affirmation card. To kind of tie these messages together for getting started, I am free of pain and suffering. That might be the mantra as you're moving your spine, as you're doing your breath work. I am free of pain and suffering. I am free of pain and suffering. I am free of pain and suffering. I'm feeling called to read the back for us. Goddess of healing, I am free of pain and suffering. Spirit. Spirit. And that's interesting too, because we've been stuck in our head a lot with this pain. We have actions we want to take in the physical realm to create earthly pleasures. Spirit is where a lot of the healing is going to be. It's not going to be in our brains. It might be in the way that we speak to ourselves for sure, but coming back home to our intuitive selves. And you can access spirit through your breath and your body for sure. Okay, back to the message. I am free of pain and suffering. Use this gift to remember who you really are. Breathe slowly and deeply as you remember that you are a soul moving onward and upward. You are not your name. You are not what you do. You are not your body. Visualize beautiful birds removing your pain and suffering with their golden beaks and flying away to drop them all in the vast ocean. That can then be transmuted into something new. These are the messages that I have for you right now, pile number 2 on getting started. I'm sending you so much love for whatever it is you're trying to create. I believe in you. Excited to connect soon. Remember, you've got this, dear hearts. Love, 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 love. Hi, group number 3. We've got some cards ready for you for messages to support you in getting started. Messages for getting started. All right. Number 1, what does it mean to believe in love? This is how I commit to an internal experience of love. So for whatever it is that you're hoping to get started, love is going to be the greatest guiding force. And I know that sounds really simple. That doesn't mean it's always easy. So tuning into that internal experience of love, does this feel good when I'm creating it? Are the thoughts that I'm thinking supportive and loving as I'm starting this venture? Keep tuning and dropping into the internal experience of love to support whatever it is that you are creating for yourself and or the collective. And we have this beautiful image of Morgan Le Fay. Some of the keywords here for her. She's the ruler of Avalon. She's a death goddess and also a healing goddess. She's known for having prophetic visions, a shapeshifter, and known for her wisdom, among many other things. So using your wisdom, it seems like you do already have a vision of what it is that you want to create. It does seem like there's a bit of fear energy, again, with that reminder of love. A lot of energies in the universe are either fear-based or love-based. And with the death and healing messages from Morgan Le Fay, it seems like something might need to be shed or transmuted, fear into love, to create whatever it is that you're trying to start. So with that prophetic vision, again, you know what it is you're trying to create. There's a reason that you have this idea. It will serve you and or the collective. The journey done with love will serve immensely. And releasing like the leaves, like the trees outside my window right now, releasing the leaves, this period of what almost looks like death and decay, to then be composted and rebirthed. Letting go of what doesn't serve. That's such a classic thing to say in these kind of communities, and sometimes it feels like, what the really, just let it go of what doesn't serve? But yes. I'm getting the idea too that a lot of it is letting go of fears and moving into the love and trusting your vision. for whatever it is that you're trying to create, whatever you're starting. And then we have the Death card for our first tarot card. This is a beautiful version of the Death card. This is the Star Spinner Tarot. So as you see here, Death is not a literal card. This speaks about cycles of transformation within ourselves. So moving from that fear, and cloaking ourselves in love, hope, optimism. The magic of the butterflies here. The main feeling that I'm getting from this is that yes, you are on your path to creating something and starting something. And first there's a bit of alchemy, transformation, change, endings, letting go of this identity of fear and moving into an embodied, loving place. And that's not just like an on-off switch. One thing I think of a lot with myself in my own journey is things being like a dimmer switch for a light. So instead of just turning it on, boom, now I'm in love. I no longer have fear, right? We are humans in this plane, at least partially. So reminding myself that it can be a dimmer switch helps my own personal brain. I can slowly start or quickly start bringing up more of the light, more of the love, leaning into what feels good. So you are going through a process of transformation, emotional and mental, to bring in and call in whatever it is that you're trying to create. Our next tarot card, we have the Prince of Staves. This is also the Knight of Wands in the traditional tarot. In this goddess deck, it's called the Prince of Staves. So wands or staves is a fire energy, right? Knights move in quickly, specifically the Knight of Wands is moving very quickly. So if you're feeling any discouragement here with this death, regeneration, transformation, there's no need. Even just by being open to these messages, you might be transmuting already, right? Being aware, yes, there's something in my thought pattern, my psyche, my energy, I'm getting a lot about thought pattern though, that is not serving. Okay, it's time to transmute, move into love. So the Knight of Wands, or the Prince of Staves, is very energized, takes inspired action. Right? Sometimes when we're in that fear place, we're just sitting, spiraling in our thoughts. No. Knight of Wands, Prince of Staves is like, okay, we have been reborn. There is hope all around us. There's flowers and stars and butterflies and love. And we have this idea and it's worth taking action on. The Knight of Wands has a generous energy. This idea that you have or you're wanting to create, something you're starting, it's not only for your own personal gain. Yes, it probably will feel incredible to your own personal self, but it's also for the collective. It's for the communities around you. This is a message of going for it, dear hearts. Move with love. Move with love. That's the main message that I'm getting today. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Move with love. Got one more tarot card and then an affirmation card for your reading today for getting started. Messages to support your getting started. The Moon. So the Moon is a complex card in tarot. It has many meanings. Although today I'm really feeling that positivity, especially in this deck too. It's got such beautiful, light-hearted energy. The Moon references intuition. You already know. You already know. You already know. Even through the periods of death and pain and transformation, you already know. You are supported, you are loved, you are love. Not only does it have to do with intuition, it references the subconscious, that inner knowing. Sometimes the moon does reference anxiety, which might have to do with those thought patterns of death and regeneration. But in this card, I'm really feeling trust. Trust in self. Trust in the answers that self already has, right? You're coming here for confirmation of what you already know. You know. This idea is worth taking steps, leaning forward into the idea, one step at a time, moving with love. He looks blissful and in flow. I am so excited to see what it is that you are starting. And if you want to share any comments below about your journey and what you're starting, I would so love to hear about them. All right, we're going to close with an affirmation card for this reading. Messages for getting started. I appreciate all that I have and have accomplished. All right, let's read the back here. Use this gift when you notice yourself being envious or resentful of others. If you think negatively towards those that have put your, if you think negatively towards those who have what you believe you lack, you will program your subconscious mind to prevent yourself from becoming one of them. Know that they too have sacrificed and worked for what they have. Admire them for their accomplishments. Okay. And then again, one more time. I appreciate all that I have and have accomplished. So when we're trying to manifest something, manifesting from a place of gratitude is going to work so much quicker. We'll be more supportive through the flow and vibrations of the universe. It's human to have these feelings of self-doubt and fear. And it's okay. You have wisdom, you can transform it. Even in the moments of death, regeneration, you are divinely supported. Lean into what you know is coming, what you know you can create, what you know you can help the world with. Move with gratitude. Maybe even make a list of all of the little accomplishments you've had recently. Make it as tiny as you like. Gather evidence that you've got this. And love, 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 love. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so excited to see what you're creating and what's in store. Connect with you soon. I am sending you so much love.